Before I made my first £100,000 month, I was already talking to myself like it had happened while I was still only making probably around 20 grand a month. And then it showed up. Now, here's the thing. Most people are doing the exact opposite of this and they're not even realizing it. And it's the reason that their income just never moves. So in this video, I'm going to show you the simple 5-step process to talk to yourself like it's already done. And I'll show you the 3 forces quietly running your results, the one shift I made at 20 grand a month that took me to 100K, and exactly how to start today so your outside world has no choice but to catch up. And I know this works because look, I was mentored by a man called Bob Proctor. And I've done it in my own life. But before I give you the 5 steps, you need to see why your inner talking is running the whole show. Because I promise you, if you miss that part, the steps won't land, okay? So let me show you how to stop your own mind keeping you broke. Now, look, let me start here, right? Because this is the bit that most people miss. So your current results, your income, your bank balance, the type of clients you're attracting, whether you're closing sales or losing them, all of it is just the outside expression of the conversations that you've been having with yourself. So your results are the invisible made visible. And I say this to my clients all of the time. People cannot trick me when it comes to results. Because look, your results always tell the truth about what's been going on inside of your head. Now, let me be really clear about what I mean by inner talking, because this is important, okay? I'm not talking about what you say out loud to me. I'm not talking about what you post on social media or what you tell your partner or the version of yourself that you present to the world. I'm talking about those quiet, private conversations, the thoughts that no one hears but you. Now, look, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first conversation? Is it, oh, do you know what? I've not got enough leads today. Is it, I don't know where the money's coming from this month? Is it, I hope this call goes well? Because here's the problem with all 3 of those. They're all coming from a place of lack. They're coming from a place of not having it yet. And your subconscious mind, whether you believe this or not, it's listening to every single word. Now, here's what you've got to understand about your subconscious mind, okay? It doesn't have eyes. It cannot see your bank account, and it doesn't know how much you earned last month. The only way it knows anything about your life is because you keep telling it through your inner conversations. So if you wake up every day and the conversation is, oh, do you know what? I'm skint, I'm behind, I don't know how, then your subconscious mind goes, well, okay, understood, that's who we are. And it will hand you a physical world that matches it perfectly. And this happens every single time. It's the law. So you're not attracting what you want. You're attracting what you keep affirming to be true on the inside. And that's actually the best news that I could give you, okay? Because it means the conversation is the lever. If you change the conversation, then you change what gets confirmed. Change what's confirmed and you change the vibration you're on. And I'm telling you right now, when you change the vibration you're on, the results have to follow, okay? But there's a reason that this feels so hard to control. And it comes down to 3 forces working underneath the surface. So let me show you what they are so you can stop them dragging you back to the same income every single year, okay? Now, when you see how these 3 connect, it's going to change the game. It's going to click. Now, number 1 is your self-image. Your self-image is the picture that you hold of yourself on the inside. And here's the law that you need to write down right now. You will never outperform your self-image for very long. So you can get lucky, you can have a good month, you can push through on motivation for a few weeks. But listen, if your self-image is a 20 grand a month earner and you suddenly have a 50 grand month, watch what happens. I promise you, something inside of you is going to pull you straight back down. It's like a thermostat. It's set at a certain temperature. And if the room gets too warm, it kicks in and it cools it right back down to where it's comfortable. That's why lottery winners win and go broke. Their outside world changed, but the picture on the inside never did. So the outside always comes back to match the inside. Now, how is the self-image built? It's built through your self-talk, through repetition of the inner conversation. That's it. So if you want a new self-image, you already know the tool. It's the conversation, okay? Now, number 2 is your assumption. Whatever you assume to be true about yourself and your life, you're going to keep experiencing. Not what you hope, not what you wish, what you assume. Now, there's a big difference between wishing for a thing and assuming that you already have it. Wishing keeps it out there in the future, away from you. Assuming, it brings it in. Assuming says, this is just how it is for me now. This is my life. And your assumption, I'm telling you right now, it guides everything. It guides your behavior. It guides the decisions that you make. It guides how you show up on a sales call. It guides whether you follow up or shrink. And all of it flows from what you're assuming to be true underneath. Now, number 3 is your inner conversation. And this is the thread that ties the other two together, because your self-image is built through your inner conversation, okay? Your assumption is held in place through your inner conversation. So it all comes back to the same thing, the words you're saying to yourself when no one else is listening, okay? So here's the whole thing in one sentence. If your inner talking doesn't match what you would say out loud, if you'd already achieved your goal, I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna happen, no matter how much you want it. Read that back. Okay, if your inner talking doesn't match what you would say out loud, if you'd already achieved your goal, it's not happening, okay? And most people's inner talking is running commentary on the problem. Why hasn't it happened yet? When is it gonna change? I've been trying this for so long. And that commentary is an assumption of lack, so they keep getting more of it. Now, I know that might sound like theory, right? So let me prove it to you with exactly what happened to me. Because this is the shift that took me from 20 grand a month to my first 100K a month. Now, before I made that £100,000 in a month, I was making around 20 grand a month. Now, 20 grand a month is good money, right? Okay, a lot of people would be more than happy with that. But I knew there was another level. As human beings, we always want to grow. We always want to have more, okay? And it's not about the money, it's about growing. The real purpose of a goal isn't to get the thing, okay? It's to grow. So I made a decision that I was getting there. Now, everything I'm teaching you here, I just didn't read in a book, okay? I was mentored by Bob Proctor. And if you don't know Bob, he was one of the most respected teachers in this whole space. And he spent over 50 years studying the mind. Now, I studied this stuff for 6 years on my own, and my results did not move an inch. I didn't get nowhere, okay? Now, it wasn't until I got the right mentorship and started actually living it that everything changed. And this, the inner conversation, is right at the heart of it. So look, here's what I did, okay? I didn't wait for the 100K to show up before I started living from it on the inside. I had this on my mind constantly. So when I was on a walk, I'd have conversations with myself. I'd say, Joel, do you remember when you used to struggle and hustle to make 20 grand a month? And now you've been making 100K a month for the whole year. How does that feel, Joel? And I'd answer myself and I'd say, do you know what? It feels incredible. Now, what was I doing? I was talking to myself from the end as if it had already happened, as if I was looking back on it. So I'd lie in bed at night, right? And the conversation would be, how amazing is it now that I make £100,000 every single month and I sign up new clients every single week? Notice how it's not, I hope to, not I'm trying to. Okay, I make it, it's done, it's finished, it's mine, okay? Now, was there resistance? Of course there was, right? My old self would come up 10, 15 times a day and go, come off it, Joel. You know, you're making 20 grand. Who do you think you are? And every single time I'd catch it. I'd say, I see you, okay, but that's not who I am anymore. This is the version of me that makes 100K a month. And I'd go straight back in to that conversation. I did that over and over and over again. Repetition, because that's the only reliable way to change what's going on the inside. And here's what happened, right? As I held that conversation, my behavior started to change. I started making decisions like 100K a month earner. I started showing up in my content with a whole different level of conviction. I started making decisions like 100K a month earner. I started showing up in my content with a whole different level of conviction. I started saying my prices on calls without flinching. I started attracting a completely different type of client. People who got on calls already ready to say yes. Now, none of that was forced, okay? It came from the inside out. So because I was already there psychologically, okay, you will always move to physically where you are psychologically. And then came the 100K a month. And when it came, I remember thinking that was effortless. That was almost easy, because on the inside, I'd already been living there for months. And that's the whole thing, okay? I didn't get the result and then feel like the person. I became the person on the inside, and then the result had no choice but to catch up. So how do you do the same? Well, now I'm going to give you the simple 5-step process so you can start speaking your goal into existence today instead of waiting for years like I did. Because I don't want you just knowing this. I want you doing it, okay? There's a massive difference between knowing the path and walking the path. So step 1, get clear on what you actually want. Not what you think you can do, not what feels realistic, what you genuinely love. Because you can't have the right inner conversation about a goal that doesn't even excite you. So you've got to get the picture first, okay? Now, step 2, write down what you would say out loud if it was already done. This is your inner conversation script, present tense, as if it's finished. I'm so happy and grateful now that I earn X amount a month. I attract amazing clients with ease, and money comes to me easily and consistently. And notice, it's never I want or I will. It's I am, I have, it is done. Now, step 3, I want you to repeat it until you feel it. The first time you say it, you won't believe it. And that's normal. Just keep going, because if you tell yourself a lie over and over again, eventually you start to believe that it's true. And once your subconscious mind accepts it, magic happens. The vibration shifts and you start moving, okay? Now, I'd say to do this first thing in the morning and last thing before you go to sleep. Those 2 windows are gold because your mind is most open. Fall asleep in the feeling that it's already done. Step 4, audit the conversation all day long. This is the bit that most people skip, and it's the most important. It's not enough to say it twice a day if you spend the other 16 hours going, when's it going to happen? I'm behind. I don't know how. So set an alarm every hour. When it goes off, ask yourself one question. Am I saying right now what I would say out loud if I'd already achieved my goal? And if you're not, switch it back, okay? You've got to become a mental athlete. You catch the old conversation, okay? And listen, you don't beat yourself up about it. You just gently bring it back to the goal 1,000,000 times a day if you have to. Now, step 5, detach from the how. Your job is the what, okay? The how is not your job. If you knew how, you would have already done it, okay? So when you hold the conversation and stay in the feeling that it's already done, ideas start coming to you. Hunches, nudges, the right person messages you. You feel pulled to make a certain move. That's the how showing up one step at a time. But it only shows up when you're already living from the end, okay? Now, look, here's the thing. Knowing the 5 steps is only half of the battle. Because right now, your old self is already trying to talk you out of it. So next, let me clear up the 3 thoughts that stop most people ever starting so they don't stop you. Now, the first one is, this sounds too simple, Joel. It can't be that easy. And do you know what? I get it, right? But let me ask you something, right? You've been talking to yourself your whole life. The inner voice has never stopped. So it's not that you're not doing it. You're doing it every single day. You've just been doing it unconsciously and mostly about the problem. All I'm asking you to do is take control of a conversation that's already happening. Simple isn't the same as easy. And it's definitely not the same as ineffective, okay? The most powerful things usually are simple. Now, the second one is, I've tried this before, Joel, and it didn't work. No, here's what actually happened, okay? You did it for a week, maybe 2. You said the words, you didn't feel it straight away, no money landed in your account, and you quit, okay? That's not the technique failing. That's you stopping right before it takes hold. And remember what I said, the first time you say it, you won't believe it. It's the repetition over time that changes the subconscious mind. You don't go to the gym once and get the body. Same law applies right here with what I'm telling you. Now, the third one, and this is the big one, the money. Do you know what, Joel? I'd love to change my life, but I can't afford to invest in myself right now. Now, look, let me be really honest with you, okay, out of a place of love. That thought right there is the exact programming that is keeping you where you are. Because that's not a fact. That's a belief. And it's the same belief that's kept you at the same income for however long you've been there. Now, here's the truth that most people never grasp. Money replenishes itself. You can always make more money, but you can't get your time back. So the most expensive thing in the world isn't the investment. It's staying stuck for another year, another 2 years, doing it on your own, paying the price in frustration and missed outcomes the whole way. Look, I didn't have the money when I first got mentored either. I borrowed it. But what did I do? I bet on myself. And within 5.5 months, I turned my yearly income into a monthly income. Now, if I'd had listened to that "I can't afford it" voice, then I'd still be there right now. So the question was never, can I afford to do this? The question is, can I afford not to? So let me paint a picture for you, right? And let me take you forward. Imagine 6 months from now, you've been holding a new conversation every day. It's become automatic. It's who you are now, okay? You wake up in the morning and there's no knot in your stomach about money. You're not checking your bank account with your heart racing. You get up and the first conversation in your head is one of certainty. It's already done. I make more than enough. Everything I need comes to me. You get on a call and you're not chasing. You're not hoping they say yes. You lead with certainty. You say your price without a flicker and the right people are drawn to you. Clients start chasing you instead of you chasing them. Now, you look at your family and you finally know that you can provide fully without stress. You can book the trip. You can say yes to the people that you love without thinking about what's in the account. You can look at yourself in the mirror and feel proud of the person that you're becoming. And none of that came from working harder. It came from becoming on the inside the person who already has it and letting the outside world catch up. Now, that version of you exists right now, today. It's just a different set of conversations away. And the beautiful thing is, you get to start that conversation the second this video ends. So here's what it comes down to. There's 2 versions of yourself. There's the old self and there's the new self. Now, the old self reacts to the bank balance, okay? It looks at the result and lets them dictate the conversation. Stays exactly the same. They stay where they are. Now, the new self decides the conversation on purpose, talks to themselves like it's already done, even when the outside world is screaming that it isn't. And slowly, then suddenly, the outside world rearranges itself to match it. So let me ask you, which one are you going to be? Because you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And what you are is being decided right now by the conversation that's going on in your head. So make it a good one. Make it match where you're going, not where you've been, okay? Now listen, everything I've just shown you is the what, okay? It's the life on the other side. But there's a difference between consuming this and becoming it. Like I said, I spent 6 years knowing this stuff and my results did not move an inch. You know what changed? Getting mentorship by Bob Proctor, the right direction, the accountability, and someone to help me actually implement instead of just understanding it. So if you're watching this video and you know, like deep down, that you're done consuming and you're ready to become, like if you're serious about changing your identity and your income over the next 6 months, then I want to talk directly to you right now, okay? There's a link in the description of this video to book a call with me. Now, on that call, I will show you exactly how to get from where you are to where you want to be, and I will show you the blind spots that are keeping you stuck right now. But be honest with yourself, okay? If you're a maybe, if you're just going to think about it, then this call probably isn't for you. It's for the people who have decided, okay? It's for the people who are ready to make a decision and move. Now, if that's you, there's a link in the description to book a call, okay? Go and grab one before the slots go. I'll see you on the call, and I'll see you on the next one.